guys, I want to show you how I play Little Sister. Super fun jam song. Great way to develop your surf playing, your rockabilly playing, some of your country playing. It's a great song by the King, but the Dwight Yoakam version is also very good. And I actually have a cover of it out there too. And my cover of it has this kind of 50s New Orleans Earl Palmer drum beat. So my version, I think, is the most fun to play along to, in my not so humble opinion. But let me show you what I do on Little Sister and just give you some approaches to playing this type of surf rock or this kind of blues type of tune in the key of E. So here is the main rhythm guitar part that I would suggest. If you only got one electric guitar player, this is the part that I would have them play. Or if you're the electric guitar player, this is the one you should play. And then I'll show you a couple of others you can add on top of that, which will sound pretty dang good. So we're in E. Hopefully your guitar's in tune. And I'm playing this kind of standard kind of piano riff, and it's straight, so it's not swung like a blues, but it's straight. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Switch to the 4 chord. Back to 1. And then B power chord, C, back to B, and then we're on the 1 chord. So for this song, power chord is just fine. If you want to play a full B7 to a C, also good. That would also work. Maybe the second guitar player could do that. But for this type of tune, I like to stay low and stay out of the way of the other guitar and maybe the saxophone. So here is a second rhythm part that you could play if you've got 2 electric guitar players. Maybe the acoustic guy could also do this if you have an acoustic guitar player. But this would be a complement, and your 2 guitars would make a great texture together using this kind of upstroke 8th note thing. It's not a ska type of sound. It's a little bit swung, and it's very New Orleans. Let me show you what I mean. So while the other guitar player was playing low, I would play more of a rhythmic chord. This is E7. I'm not going to go in depth on these chord shapes. If you're looking up this lesson, you probably know these, or you can learn them quite fast. And then I've just played a normal bar chord, A7 for the 4 chord. Same thing with the B7. Sometimes add the pinky. Play C there as well. So here we go. 1 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord. Then when it goes up to the flat 6, the C chord, however you're thinking of it. Okay, working fast. Here's another rhythm guitar part that you could do. This one, I kind of do this on the verse sometimes. So the verse of the song will sit on 1. Well, I used to date your sister. It just hangs out on the E chord for a long time. So sometimes I'll change it up a little bit and do something like this. That, I'm going 2, 4, 5, 4 on the 5th string. And then on the 3rd string, I'm going 1, 2, 4, 2 together. So I'm playing sixths, but I'm muting the string in the middle. So I'm skipping that string. Sometimes I hit the open strings. It sounds pretty good though. Maybe not every time, but let's hear how that sounds. And I'll do it on A as well for the solo. During the verse, it would just be the 1 chord, but for the solo, you could back somebody up by changing your feel every time the 12 bars comes around. Let's look at it. Let's make it a little bit louder here. Let's try it again. And for the 5 chord, I just kind of jumped on this, making the same thing, but you don't have to do that. You can just go back to this guy. There's a lot of ways to do it, and we can go in depth on all the different rhythm parts, but for now, here's the 3rd version of a rhythm guitar part you can play. One more time. Okay, but now it's time to take a solo. Let's look at a few strategies to take a solo on this super fun song. You can play some major pentatonic stuff. You can play some minor pentatonic stuff. Country, surf, blues, rockabilly stuff, all on top of this cool song. Dwight Yoakam does it. Elvis does it. So it's good across the traditional country realm. It's good across the rockabilly realm. Blues bands play this song. Let's talk about some solo ideas. Number 1, your home base could probably be the E minor pentatonic scale or the E blues scale. And if you got a whammy bar, these open strings are going to be great. So this kind of thing, I'm going to do it fast. This is not a scale lesson. This is just some ideas for you. Scale in the open position comes in real handy. Okay. All your blues licks, this kind of stuff. That will work great on this song. Blues scale on 1 string. I like to do that too. I would start here on this E. Start on this E. It's kind of a money lick there because you could use the open E string with it as a drone. Sounds super crazy with the open 1st string. Of course, you got to bend this finger over enough to keep it ringing. That's going to be a great tool. E major pentatonic is going to be good too because it hangs on that E chord for a long time, and you can just get some different varied ideas. You know, you can start with the E major pentatonic. And then when it switches to the 4 chord, go back to the E minor pentatonic. So that would be a good strategy to play different phrases. Play 1 phrase major pentatonic, the next phrase minor pentatonic. This is a lot of info, but that E major pentatonic is not going to sound good on the 4 chord. Little warning there. But let's try that. We're just going to mix E major pentatonic with E minor pentatonic. Give it a bash. Minor. Let's do major. Back to minor. Same thing. So I think that would be a great place to start. When it's the E chord, play E major pentatonic licks. Improvise with that. When it's the other chords, the A chord or the B or the C chord, play E minor pentatonic. And just those 2 sounds will give you a lot of variation, a lot of ideas. let's look at some things you could do to play the changes or access the chords in your solo. So not just thinking about scales, major pentatonic, minor pentatonic, back and forth, but accessing each chord. So we'll look at a couple of licks here. Things you can do on the E chord. You got this kind of stuff. You got an E chord. It's I think people would call that the A form. I just know this as an E bar chord. 7, 9, 9, 9, 7. Well, I take that apart. Kind of a Bakersfield lick. I have another video with some country licks, but that will work great on this song. On the 4 chord, on the A chord, this kind of, you find it all over soul music, you find it all over country music, you find it all over blues. These 6 sliding around, 6. It's a double stop with, I got the major third of the A chord and the root of the A chord here. Now I got the 9 of the A chord and the flat 7 of the A chord. And then when I'm here, I got the 13 or the 6th. These are all notes that work over a dominant 7th chord. The root, and now I got the flat 7 and the 5th. These are all notes that sound great over an A7 chord. So let's see what happens with just those 2 licks. So I really like the way that all that comes together because it's accessing the chords, but also giving us some phrases, repeated things. Something for the listener to jump onto. Starting slow and then getting fast. Add a little bit of excitement leading into the 4 chord. That's just the kind of stuff that I like. And then after that, I would just jump on something kind of aggressive. Maybe unison bend or classic blues lick. But going back to the idea of just building a solo, I would always just start with something small and save the fireworks for the end. On the B chord, when the B chord happens, you can just use this little voicing up here, up to C. Using those 3-string voicings will break it up and make it really nice. So let's put all of that together. Simple way to play the changes. I'm gonna play this E chord. I'm gonna use these falling 6 for the 4. And then I'm gonna just use these little 3-string versions of B and C. But then I'm gonna end with some fireworks. See if that makes a pretty good solo. Then the next solo, I might start getting a little bit crazy. It's kind of like a Cliff Gallup thing. Definitely Sun Records, Rockabilly Lick. So this is the second solo. I'm getting a little more aggressive, playing 2 E's, an E, and a G on the 2nd string. That's the 8th fret. And then I went to the flat 5, that's going to be a B flat. Little rockabilly moment there. Some dissonant flat 5 against the 1. Great place to start. So, and then, by that time I'm going to need another A chord. Great lick to have. This is in the 5 Fast and Easy Steps to Play Rockabilly, is this double stop. Blues, rockabilly, jazz, double stop. So I'm playing 15 on the first string and 14 on the second string. That's the 13 of the E chord and the sharp 9 or the minor third of the E chord. But it's also the flat 7 and the 3 of the 4 chord, so you can kind of make that work over the whole dang thing. This is just a money lick. Just bend it a little bit, just a little bit. Setzer says that if you ride a Harley, you got to use your second and third finger for it. Otherwise, you can just use 3 and 4. Setzer's funny. He's a cool guy. That's going to be so good over the A chord because that has the notes of the A chord in it. So I have some strategies here to play the chords, licks that match the chords to this solo to really set it off and have a composed solo. Let's give it a try. Start with this little double stop on E, sliding sixths, and then maybe a blues lick for the end of the first 12 bars. Then I'm going to come back with my drone lick, my Cliff Gallup Rockabilly Lick. When I get to the 4 chord, again, I'm going to play this double stop. And what am I going to do on the 5 chord? How about I just go totally nuts? E blues scale with some open strings, which always sound great on a Gretsch or a Telecaster. Any twangy guitar, the open strings are going to be great. Here we go. Let's try this composed solo, at least semi-composed. So that was okay. I had a good strategy, but I was kind of just playing shy because I wanted to make it perfect. I'm sure you can relate. Make sure this bad boy's in tune. Another thing is, if you're playing a Gretsch, a lot of people think, oh man, they're really hard to stay in tune. But I actually got this from Setzer. If it's really set up well, when you're bending and stuff, the string may slip. This is with any guitar with a whammy bar. The string may get stuck and then it seems like it's out of tune. A lot of times you could just jiggle the whammy bar and it'll come right back into tune. It's a balance. It's like a Miyagi moment. Everything's got to have balance, including your guitar. Setzer does it all the time. You'll be watching him and he won't even be playing. He'll just be singing and he'll go like this and jiggle it. It's probably because he knows that one of the strings is stuck. It happens all the time. It's part of the charm of playing a Gretsch. You don't want everything locked down. It's just like life. If you are just locking everything down and being as tight as possible, you're not going to be able to have fun and let it dance. But if this thing is balanced, you got it. Here we go. Take 2. Here we go. So I would say that one was a keeper. Pretty rhythmic. Kind of went up and down the neck, had some exciting moments, some dissonant moments, then resolving, accessing the chords, This little biker lick or blues lick works great for the 4-chord. And that's pretty much all you need to play on a tune like this. In fact, really all you need is the E minor pentatonic scale. You can get a lot out of that. I mean, Billy Gibbons plays amazing things with pretty much one sound. And but if you're wanting to go on an adventure and play some of this E major pentatonic stuff, try to fit a country lick over this. I would call it more like a